Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this centre step card using Pinewood's bundle. So that's how the card looks from the side. So you can see it's got different sections opening, and then this one here in the middle is a little bit higher and also comes out on its separate piece there. Okay, so I'm going to show you the supplies you need to make this card. I've used, as I said, the Pinewood's bundle, and in fact actually I didn't use the stamp set, but I did use these. I used this tree here and also this snow scene for that one, but you get loads of different trees in here. This is the stamp set that coordinates with it. Like I say, I haven't actually used this one on the project, but I'm definitely going to be using this soon. And then the other thing I've used is the Evergreen Forest embossing folder, which is this one here. And this is great for just, you can see this entire card really is just that with a sentiment on the front. So it's a really versatile embossing folder. And that's what I've used on the foil paper behind the tree here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the supplies you need to make this and how to do the cutting and scoring, because it is a little bit complex. Okay, so you need a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, and that measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So if you're in Europe, you can get 2 of these out of 1 sheet of A4 cardstock. Night of Navy cardstock, you need several pieces. So you need the central panel here. This measures 2 7/8 by 2.5 inches. You need 2 of the side panels for the backgrounds there for the designer series paper, and they measure 2 7/8 by 1 1/4 inch each. And then a longer strip, this goes along the bottom. This measures 5 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. You'll need a piece of champagne foil cardstock that measures 2 1/4 by 2 5/8, and I've gone ahead and embossed my one here. How cool is that? The designer series paper I'm using, I'm just going to show you the pack here. It's from a suite called Feels Like Frost. It was a suite last year. They've actually just kept some of the papers in this year. And on one side it's photographic, and on the other side you've got some silver foil, gorgeous designs on there. But there are so many really pretty designs that I could have used behind the scenes here, but I just went for this one because I thought it matched in with the pine trees there. Okay, so the 2 pieces of designer series paper you need, very small, 2 5/8 inch by 1 inch. Anything else here? Oh yes, this is the piece that I cut the snow scene in, or the snow drift. So this is just Whisper White cardstock. This measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 1/4. What I do underneath here in the description, I'll put a link to the blog post, and this will have all the measurements on there. For the sentiment, this piece measures 1 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And I'll go through the other kind of couple of bits and pieces you'll need after that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cut and score this piece of cardstock. It's a little bit complicated, and I'm going to have my trimmer sideways to show you this, and this is because I need to be able to see the numbers here. You need to have your card with the short side along the top here, and you're going to line it up here at 1 1/2 inches. Okay, and what I need to do is I'm going to, there's a little marker on this score tool. I'm just going to bring it towards me a little bit here so I can see, and I want to line that up at the 1 inch mark, and then I'm going to slide that right along to 5 1/8, so just the one past the 5 inch there, and then open that up, slide it along to, I'll show you on here, 4 1/4 inches, this edge here. I'm just going to move it back so again I can see where I'm scoring. So you're going to go back from the 5 1/8 along to the 1 inch again. So I'm just going to make sure I've got that in the right place there, and then back to 1 inch. It's about there. If I'm looking straight over it, I'll be able to see better. So hopefully I haven't gone too far over, because it's kind of a bit more tricky to do on camera. Now you could do the scoring as well on your trimmer with the scoring blade, but just for the video I'm going to do it on my trimmer, because I think it's going to be a bit easier for you to see on there. Okay, so have it with the cut lines more facing this direction. So this piece is clear. This is where we started at the 1 inch here, and you need to score at 1 inch down to where this cut starts. So it's basically down to 1.5, but so at 1 inch, I haven't quite got along far enough there, so I might need to trim that, at 2 inches and at 5 1/8. And then you're going to flip it over and do the same. So score at 1 inch, at 2 inches and at 5 1/8. Flip it back, and on this next score line you're only going to be scoring this middle section here, so not these two edge panels, just this middle section. And like I say, if you do it on your trimmer you'll probably be able to see that better, but I'm just going to line up my rule, my metal rule here at 4 1/8. So that's halfway across the card, and I'm just going to score that middle section there. So I just put the ruler on just to get a guide as to where that was, because obviously I'm not scoring right from this edge here. So just that middle section. I'm going to hold that up. Can you see there? So these 3 score lines and these 3 score lines all just go to that cut portion there, and then this one score line is just from the center piece there. Okay, so that's all your scoring done. Let's move that out the way. Okay, bring this back in. So when we go to fold this card, these top 2 pieces here fold as a mountain fold. So that's a mountain, that's a valley. So mountain fold there, mountain fold here, and then these 2 here are valleys. So they fold backwards, and then this is a mountain, and that folds forward like that. Okay, so this is what I mean by mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, so when it actually folds flat, you can just run over all those score lines, and that's how you get your card to fold. Okay, if at any point you're following along with this, and especially if you're doing one of my kits that included this card in my November class by post, just press pause, rewind, whatever you need to do to, you know, follow that. So that's how it is. These 2 fold in the same direction as this one in the opposite direction, and this one the same as these top ones. Okay, so now it's time to put the layers on. So this is obviously the central panel, this Night of Navy piece. So we're just going to, whoops, put some glue on the back of there. My grid paper's sliding all around here. Okay, so I want to put this so that it's got an equal border around these 3 edges, and then this one there'll be a bit of a gap here at the bottom. So I'm going to line that up at the top and the sides to have an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And then the same with these 2. So these are going to tuck under there, so that when the cards open, they do go right down to have the same border all the way around there. Okay, so go ahead and pop the glue on these. Whoop. My glue's a little stuck here. Let me just get wipe that top bit off. We're doing quite a lot of filming today, and I think I've stressed my glue out. Okay. So pop this one over. If you find it easier, you can open this up to put it in this section here. So again, just make sure you've got an even border all the way around that piece. I'll do the same on this side. And you can take your time to line that up. And while we've got it flat there, we'll pop on our designer series paper here, these little wintry scenes. You can see I've used different, I've moved along a little bit from there. This is a little bit darker, but all of those papers actually would go really well along there. So some glue on the back. My light's reflecting off of the back of this paper here, so I'm kind of finding it hard to see where I'm putting glue on. I think I've got it all the way around. Okay, make sure it's the right way up, and you're just going to pop that on. If you have this in the kit that I sent to you, when I cut the papers, I made sure that the pieces you got, if they were next to each other, so the snow scene carried it across. So just have a little look. If you put them together, you'll see which should be on the left and which should be on the right. But to be honest, move that one, it won't really matter too much. So there we go, let's pop that one back down. So that's how the scene's starting to take place. Next we're going to add the embossed piece on. I think the champagne foil is my favourite out of the regular foil papers we have in the catalogue, in the annual catalogue. It's a little bit more subtle than the silver one, and not quite as bright as the gold, so it's just kind of in between the two really. Okay, when you're sticking this down, just really make sure you don't get glue seeping through onto this side, because it does make a mess of the foil on the outside if you get it on there. Okay, that's now stuck down. So I went ahead and cut my tree here out of Whisper White cardstock. You might need to poke a few of the little pieces out here, but and then to stick that on the card, I wanted to leave the tree trunk loose because I wanted to tie this round. So I've just kind of stuck it, put glue down the center. So I haven't stuck mine down quite long enough here. Let me just pop something on. I'm going to pop that punch on just to hold it down for a second. So I'm going to pop some glue just down the center of the tree here. Just making sure that none of that's going to come out onto the foil. There we go, that's stuck down a bit better now. And I wanted it quite high because I don't want it to interfere with that little scene at the bottom. So I just popped it in the center and quite near the top like that. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry. So I'm going to stick this piece along the bottom here. So again, this will have a similar border all the way around. Obviously it will look a little bit bigger here because of the gap in between, but for the other edges it's that 1/8 of an inch. So glue on this one. Once you have all the pieces cut, this is really quick to put together, but the biggest part is cutting and scoring that base card just to get it right. There we go, that looks about right. And I'm just going to show you how I cut the snowdrift here. I have gone ahead and I've pre-cut one because again I wanted a border so that it was in line with the rest of the card. But I still wanted to show that real kind of drift without it coming right up to the top here. So I used this die out of the under the pine wood set. Like I said, this was a piece of 5 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch Whisper White cardstock, and when I cut it, so the die is slightly wider, so I lined it up with the bottom of the die and just moved it along to how big I wanted the drift to be at this end. So I didn't want it to go right to that top edge. And then if you need to, you can pin it in place on your cutting plate with some washi tape or a post-it note just to stop it from moving around. So that's how I cut that one. So we're going to go ahead and stick this one on. I've seen some amazing cards made with the stamp set and the dies, so I can't wait to make some more of these. It wasn't on my original shopping list, but as these things go with Stampin' Up, you see samples made and then you're just like, I've just got to have that now. Oops, I've got glue on my card up there. You won't be doing that. Here we go. I'm just going to slide it over. I didn't line that up at all well. There we go. Don't do that like I did. You've got glue on there. I might have to hide that with my sentiment. Okay, so talking of the sentiment, let's bring that one in. So I used Happy Christmas from, let's just see if I've got the stamp set here. I love this, Itty Bitty Christmas. So it's this one here, Happy Christmas, quite possibly my favourite Christmas stamp for a long time actually. I like the font on there, but also love these ones. There's some that we don't use so much in the UK, like Happy Holidays, but Thinking of You at Christmas, that's a really lovely one. And this one here, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So this is a really good set to have. Like I said, I used Happy Christmas and I'm stamping it in Night of Navy ink. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to edge it in Seaside Spray. That's a really nice kind of frosty colour. I'm just going to hope that I'm not going to smudge that there. It should be dry, but I'm just going to hold it there just in case. So I just get one of our sponges. I cut it into 6 pieces and then just dip it in the ink. And depending on if you want more colour, you have it at this angle, less you have it at this angle, and this you just get a kind of quite an even little edge all the way around. But it's just nice to offset against the white on the card. There we go. I've also used Seaside Spray ribbon. I actually remember what this one's called. I need to I would need to look it up. I'll put it in the link, but it's a little kind of woven ribbon and also some linen thread. So the ribbon measures approximately 4.5 inches and you'll need about 8 inches of linen thread to tie around. Okay, so we're going to go and I'm going to show you how I did this. Again, I played around with how to do this. I wanted a bit of colour here, but you know, the tree trunk isn't very sturdy, so it's actually quite hard to tie thick ribbon around. So what I went for in the end is I tucked it under, looped it over like this, and then I've tied the linen thread around here, so it just pinches it in. Actually, I didn't have it that I've left a loop at this end. You see that there, little loop there. So, and I've just pinched it in here and tied it in a bow. So let's leave. You actually, I mean, you can tie it off of the tree and then just slide it on afterwards. However you find it easier. That might be easier for the purpose of the video anyway. So I've left this little loop at this end. I'm going to put it down here. You might need to get someone to come in and put their finger down. I don't have anyone here apart from the cats at the moment, so that's not an option for me. Okay, we can do this. If I can get one knot tied on there, then I'm good to go. Actually, one of the cats has just walked in, but I don't think they're going to be too useful. Okay. There we go. I'm going to slide that back a little bit. Just making the ends a bit more even. My cat's just jumped on something. I can never film without without them coming in, because they either scratch at the door until I let them in, and that's noisy on the video, or they kind of jump around when they're in here, so it's it's not too easy. So with bows, always if you hold the center there and just pull the ends until you get the size you want, and then re-pull the loops, that's how you get the size of the bow. Okay, slide this one back on, and then you can just fix it underneath with a glue dot. So just under here you can just pop a glue dot, and then that will keep that just where you want it. Cat's coming across, oh my word. I'm so sorry, she never does this. Marley, off. My word, very needy today. Okay, and then you can trim the ends of the ribbon, just in case they've frayed a little bit. And however long you want these bits to be, you can also trim those. Okay, and then with the Happy Christmas, she's walked all over my sample card. I've popped that up on a couple of dimensionals. So 1, 2. Actually, my glue's dried clear, and a while ago we used to have these glue erasers at Stampin' Up. We don't sell them anymore, but you can still get hold of them on Amazon. So I'm just going to take that bit of glue off there, just so that I can actually use the card. And then this one I just popped at an angle on there. And then finally I use some champagne rhinestones just to finish the card off. I thought they tied in with the champagne foil, so let's have, whoops, I should be using my take your pick tool, that would be much easier for this. Let's pop one there. Let's just, here we go, this will make things easier. So this is really good. This is a positioning tool, so you get a putty end, you get a paper piercer. This then spins around into, you know, you can take these bigger ones off. You also get another fixture for this end, and I'm trying to think what's on there. A scoring tool, which is really handy as well. So it's a really good tool to take, and you can get refills for this putty. So let's pop one on here, and then maybe one more just in the middle of the tree, just to give it a little sparkle. Okay, so there we have it. My Pinewood Centre Step card. I hope you enjoy making that one. Take care, bye.